Good afternoon, YouTube. It's a very momentous occasion here. I'm joined by my fellow Aussie beer reviewer, Jez Lawson, and we're here today to review a new member of the Crown Royal family, none other than Crown Golden Ale, which is 4.5% alcohol by volume, and it's brewed and bottled by Carlton and United Breweries here in Australia. It's only just come out here in the last week, so we're going to be reviewing it together and striking while the iron's hot. So over to you, Jim.
Okay, so pretty much this is in the same bottle as regular Crown Lager. They use Galaxy hops, and they use Pride of Ringwood, which is very common in most Australian lagers. Of course, like SwillinGrog just said, it's brewed by Carlton United Brewers, who, strangely enough, they own Matilda Babies. And if you're familiar with Matilda Babies, they brew this little beer here called Fat Yak. And so I'll talk about that a bit more later. But it's just interesting that they've launched this new Crown beer, this new Crown Golden Ale, in the Crown instead of going Matilda Bay way. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think they're actually trying to, market this towards the premium beer market rather than the craft beer market. Although, a lot of people would perceive it as a craft beer style. So I find that very interesting. That they would do this. And when I was telling Keza of Kezbar Brewing yesterday about our review of this, he was like, I was describing it to him, and he was saying, it sounds a lot like their Crown Ambassador. Apparently, it used Galaxy hops as well. Were you aware of that?
No, but I know it's a really expensive bottle of beer, which I can't see how you would. Yeah, why would you spend $100 on a Crown beer? Yeah, why would you? So anyway, we'll get to try the little Crown, I suppose, with see what their opinion of. Well, how do they use Galaxy hops? Because, as we know, a lot of these Australian pales and golden ales, I suppose, they use. It's very common in the Pacific region to use the Galaxy. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Yes, it will be very interesting to see. So, I think without further ado, we'll crack these bottles open and pour them out.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Oh, bit of smoke.
No, I didn't notice any smoke. I was sort of looking. No, I'm getting some.
Got you know? Yeah. Okay, just use my regular old pint glass, which I use to nearly every single beer review these days.
I've got a brand spanking new mug here that I'm yet to use. So
it looks like a mug for a king. It does.
Yeah, very majestic. Quite appropriate for today's beer.
Very true, very true.
Crown Golden Ale. So what could we say of its colour? Well, it's certainly very golden in colour. Yeah, holding up here. Yeah, I mean certainly it's almost on the your dark sort of amber sort of spectrum, but still, yeah. Sort of almost at the verge of, just being when you could call, definite dark sort of amber, but still it's, got a golden kind of colour that you, could see in, your Vienna lagers as well, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, like a Vienna lager, yeah.
Yeah, almost like a Vienna lager kind of gold, almost amber kind of colour. Well, it's very, it's very clear, I must say, and I'm only really seeing a very moderate sort of amount of carbonation as well, and my head's quickly dissipated into a fine ring. I think I had just a little bit over a finger when I poured it. But, yeah.
So, it's I definitely had golden, nearly orange. You have orange in it, it's it's like you described it very well. But the head's kind of now just sitting there, but it doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere, It just looks like it's just got a nice little film on top. So
yeah, sort of what I've got. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, the aromatics, I suppose.
Yes. Let's move on to the aroma. All right. Well, yeah, I was from what I'd read of it, I was expecting to sort of pick up on some hops, but I'm getting a definite presence of malt. You know, like I'm picking up sort of like caramel and toffee notes actually.
Caramel, yeah, caramel. The hops I'm picking up is kind of like a tropical fruit juice, kind of concentrate.
I'm trying to kind of get that. I'm getting a sort of subtle fruitiness there, but yeah, I mean, if you were to say sort of tropical fruit juice, I think you're pretty much on the money, like there. Yeah, yeah. That could only come from the Galaxy hops.
Yeah. They really. The Galaxy, a bit like Cascade, you kind of pick them up in most beers.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Any more to say about the aroma?
Nah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's surprising. Well, it's been quite surprising so far. So I think it's time we got to the most important part of the review, mate. The taste test.
Yep.
So cheers to you, Jez.
Cheers, mate.
Let's dive in.
Cheers to you all.
Yes, cheers to you all, the audience. Hopefully watching this soon. Or live perhaps, but I can see that we actually have 0 viewers of this live. Isn't that sad? Right. All right. Well, I am getting, some good, sweet maltiness up front. It's yeah, definitely, got like a nice, roasted sort of malt presence there. Very tasty. Very different from your Crown Lager, in fact. And yeah, I'm tasting, that sort of subtle sort of, hop presence there in the background as well. And again, it's, that kind of tropical, fruit flavor you're describing, but it's a little more subtle than I was sort of expecting. What would you say, Jez?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like I say, agree. You're spot on there. It's the malt. You got that kind of sweet malt, don't you? You got that sweet malt, and you got a bit of that hop. The mouthful, I can't really say it's not like a lager. Yeah, lager's kind of crisp. I could say maybe it's a little bit wet in the mouth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Finish is kind of wet.
It is kind of wet. It's not really drying up in my palate.
No.
Just kind of tasting the lingering flavour of the malt and that, those Galaxy hops. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's better than I expected. I was expecting a whole lot worse than this, but it's definitely...
Yeah, I had some pretty low expectations too.
Yeah. I definitely probably prefer this over a regular Crown, but I haven't tried the new Crown, so I shouldn't probably say that. The new all malt Crown, but...
I had it not so long ago, and I think it really kicks its ass, like, and truly. I hope the public thinks so as well. I guess in many respects, where people that have probably tried a lot more beers than your average Joe, but I still think this is one that like people are really probably going to, if they give it a chance, they're probably really going to like it. It's it's quite different. It's definitely got a nice kind of taste profile to it. Yeah, I really can't fault it flavour-wise. I'm quite enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what can I say? Totally surprised. I was expecting more of a harsh, kind of like a harsher beer. You know what I mean? Like some of those CUB beers can be a bit harsh, kind of like that sulphur flavour kind of thing. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's not too bad. You know what? With you and the audience is, I kind of wondered if this was an actual ale, because I know that the Cascade Pale, I don't know if they've changed it, but I believe that they used a lager yeast for it. It was called a pale ale, the Cascade Pale Ale, but it was actually a lager yeast, and it didn't taste like an ale. This kind of makes me think it's an ale due to the the body and the finish of the beer, because like a lager is really like dries up the back end. This is kind of that ale, kind of wet, not very crisp at the end. So it kind of makes me think they did actually use an ale yeast for this beer, but it's very interesting.
It is. It's really taken me by surprise, actually. Yeah, it's quite smooth. Yeah, it really goes down a treat, even on a winter's day, such as today. But I think it probably is a kind of beer that probably lends itself more to that, to this season, perhaps. But then again, I mean, it is made for Australia, and I think that even in the summer months, this is going to be like really drinkable and really sessionable. Yeah.
It's definitely light enough for it to be a summer beer. Like in the body, oh, geez, they lost it. The body's not really that heavy. It's pretty light.
I wouldn't even call it medium-bodied. It's still kind of, for me, kind of falls between being sort of light and medium-bodied, more kind of leaning towards light. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely something you can guzzle. I showed this earlier, old Fat Yak, and you've had this, and it kind of reminds me of a milder version of this. Not as robust as that.
Actually, you're not wrong. Yeah, it's sort of along those lines, but yeah, like you say, not as robust. I think you're right on the money there, actually.
Well, I've been drinking it last 2 days, so that's how I've been guzzling away. But it's.
But how much of that carton do you have left?
I've actually still got. I think I've still got 12 or something left, 14. So that's not too bad. Something to look forward to. Yeah. But saying that, this stuff here. If you just say, I suppose this is a good beginner's beer. If you're just getting into like, you start I want to try a different beer or try an ale, a golden ale. This is probably a good one to try because it's pretty mild and it's got a little bit of hop. Not enough hop to scare someone or anything, and it's got that malt sweetness to help people through it,
I think it's quite well balanced, actually, but I think it is, a good kind of gateway beer, as you say. Yeah. I hope it catches on, actually. Like, it's, for, the, just for the general, well-being of, the beer market, like, it wouldn't be a bad thing if this, kind of, caught on. It's definitely going to open people up to, all the other interesting kind of, brews and styles of brew that are, out there today, which are, so vast and varied.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, most certainly. But, it's, not too bad. They've done an alright job. You can't believe. It's weird. It's just weird. If you look at that, you look at this. If you're Australian, you look at this, you think that's a lager. You know what I mean? It's a lager-looking glass bottle. So glass bottle. So it's just strange that they've done something different and they've done it all right. I know. I'd say if you go to the beer forums, they'll probably have a go at this. But all honesty, if someone offers this to you, you drink it. It's better than a VB. I'll give you that.
Oh, most definitely. Anyway, wrapping this up, mate, what would you give it in terms of a score out of 10?
It's in a hard market, isn't it? The golden ale, it's a tough area for me because I always great on style. Look, I'd have to probably go something like a B, just because it's a really, you're getting that golden pale ale style for me. It's a very tough style. So a B's pretty solid for this, so yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Like I said, it's drinkable. There's nothing too much detracting. It's not going to knock your socks off, as you'd say, but hey, it's not too bad.
So in terms of B, you would think that'd equate to about 7.5 out of 10?
Yeah, I'm not too sure after. Probably around.
Yeah, I'd probably say about. I'd give it maybe a 7.75 out of 10. Yeah, it's not bad. Like, I hope people do give it a go. They probably poured a lot of money into marketing this. You were actually telling me that your Dan Murphy's, they were promoting it quite heavily. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. They had right, you walk straight into Dan Murphy's, and there's a big setup of Crown Golden Ale. So I didn't even have to go to the back to get a stubby of it. I just went and grabbed one, and away I went. But
Cool.
no, yeah, heavily marketed, and I don't think it'll catch on though, SwillinGrog. It's one of those beers you can see.
I've got my doubts.
Yeah, 12 months we'll probably never see it again. You know, just kind of the vibe we get off it. I know with Jay from Losing the Beer Reviews, he talks about a couple of those beers Budweiser brought out. I can't remember the name of it, but he said they were pretty good, but they just never really caught on. Like,
Bud Dry, I think, one of them you mentioned. Yeah,
it's just like he said, it's all right. And you kind of see with this beer, it's a bit like when Carlton United brought out the. Remember the Victoria? Was it Victoria Pale Lager? It was in looked like a VB, but it was in a green bottle.
Oh yes, that didn't last. Yeah.
And it wasn't too bad. It was better than VB, but it died out because they stopped marketing it, and it just fell by the wayside. You know. It wasn't. It was a pretty enjoyable beer. Like, it was nothing special, but it was more enjoyable than a VB. So. Yeah, it's all about marketing, and that's what it comes down.
Yeah, well, it's the beer market's a tough one to crack to really kind of for this to last. They really need to sell lots of it to kind of justify continuing to brew it. So I don't know. Like, I kind of hope for the best, but I mean, like you, I've certainly got my doubts about it, but we could be pleasantly surprised, but only time will tell, I suppose.
That's it.
Anyway, folks, thanks for joining myself and Jez for yet another beer review. Hopefully soon, I think we might get a chance to try your Fat Yak there in a can. So I'm hoping that we can do that soon, Jez, because I'm most keen to check out Fat Yak in a can. Anyway, back to the Crown Golden Ale. Yeah, it's not a bad beer, and certainly worth checking it out. It's going to be I think available at Dan Murphy's and BWS exclusively, like for the next 4 months or so. I think I remember reading. Something like that. Anyway, thanks for joining me, Jez. And
thanks for having me, SwillinGrog. It's been great.
All right, well, until next time, folks, keep on drinking and fare thee well, all.